Hello everybody, my name is Ivara and welcome back to In a Nutshell. Today we're talking about Ivara. Now Ivara is one of those Warframes that's kind of hard to find out where she comes from, and that's because she comes from a couple different sources. But to start off with, we're going to be showcasing her and a couple weapons that go along with her. Now, of course, Ivara is often known as the Robin Hood frame. So what that means is we're going to be running her primarily with bow weapons. So we got ourselves the Dread, we got ourselves the Ballistica, and then her final weapon is the Venka, because she's a ninja, right? Anyways, so with the Dread of course is a weapon that is found by going into missions when you are marked by the Stalker for death. You get marked by the Stalker for death for just going off and killing bosses, basically. Now, Ivara's first ability is pretty simple, but it's also complicated. Her first ability is Quiver. So she cycles through one of four different kinds of four different kinds of arrow. Cloak, Dashwire, Noise, and Sleep. So the bubble radius and duration shows you how big of an effect that your cloak works. The noise radius gives you how big your noise arrow is going to hit, and your sleep radius and sleep duration are your sleep arrow. So if we showcase that, there we go. You tap to rotate through, and you press and hold to use it. And then of course, see? Ah, it's the bow. Okay. I was gonna say, what the heck was that? So, there you go. Now, her third arrow, the fourth arrow, the sleep arrow, is kind of fun, in my opinion. And they all go to sleep. It's actually a really, really useful skill to be running in certain missions where you're trying to be more stealthy, which Ivara already is super, super stealthy, so it's not super hard. At the same time, it's also one of those things that's like, that's pretty rough. So now her third ability, which actually we got to go back up there for. By the way, these dash wires last for a very long time. Her second ability is called Navigator. Now, Navigator makes her next projectile weapon, or projectile in general, guided. And it increases the damage multiplier by 5 times, and the multiplier grows by 1 times per second that it stays active. So what that means is this. Oof. So as you can see, although I was really, really bad at it, I don't do Navigator very much, you can literally kill people over and over and over again with a bow. And why a bow? Because bow has infinite punch through. All bows and arrows have endless punch through, so you can actually hit people in a line pretty effectively. And so as you can see, some of them had some damage taken. So we activate this again. And actually, sorry, the multiplier occurs from actually killing things or hitting things. My bad. Sorry. So anyways, a very, very, very useful weapon in many ways, shapes, and forms. As you can see, normally it takes like 4 shots to kill someone. But not with Ivara using her Navigator. It's a great way of killing enemies from around corners as long as you are very, very careful with how you use it. Now, her third ability is a little bit more fun, at least for people who like stealth missions. It's called Prowl. Now, when she's in Prowl, she's invisible, and her invisibility is based on a channel effect. Also, she can walk up to people and pickpocket them. As you can see, she has a radius in which it will be affected, and if you watched when I activated the ability, which I'll do in a second here, you can see the radius of effect, that ring that showed up momentarily. So stealth is pretty cool. Her stealth is very effective. It works really, really well. She does not, by the way, she does not become immune to sensors and lasers and things like that. That is a special augment she gets. But she does have the ability to increase her headshot damage. And of course, like I said, she gets extra loot from people. So for example, where if I'm not in stealth, it's about 214. Now her last ability is another channeled effect, Artemis Bow. It gives her a bow. It's a exalted weapon. And as you can see, one of the interesting facts about it is it actually fires numerous arrows in a line. So there you go. So that's Ivara in a nutshell with her skill set, how powerful it is. It's pretty darn amazing. Really, it is. So how do you modify her to be stronger? Well, that comes down to what you plan on doing with her. You can, of course, build her for complete stealth, giving her high duration and efficiency, and don't worry about her range at all. Or you can do power, where you want her to have a good amount of efficiency and duration to some degree, but most of what you're focusing on is her strength. There we go. And with a strength-based build, which is not the strongest, she gets a good damage multiplier, headshot, growth. The growth multiplier, however, it gets reduced, which I don't know why. But the damage multiplier, as you can see, is 11 times. So if I'm fully charged up with energy here, oh right, I have that. Okay, activate my navigator, fire my arrow. Oops. Try that again. Ah! Darn it. Okay. But as you can see, it does a lot more damage than it used to. Oh well. So, if you build her for range, however, which you also can do, and when in this configuration we're going to do an economy build, as I've shown in multiple other ones. So, energy, corrosive projection, energy siphon is being the better one for her. In her Materai, you want intensify. You want continuity, because you should have those. In your Vizarin, you want to go ahead and give yourself a little. So she only has 65 armor. Steel fiber is not the greatest of use. So something better for her is vitality, because she's going to be running into some situations with toxin damage usually if she's going stealthy, especially in infested missions. And then with the Naramon, you want to, of course, give her flow for the extra time. You want to give her message for duration, stretch for more, efficiency. Ooh, whoa, things shifted. Okay. Reach, and then streamline. Now, you can also, of course, if you have it, put on Intruder and Thief's Wit, both of which are great mods for her to find items in the game. Since she is going to be mostly for a spy mission style, that's primarily what you're going to want to run her. Beyond that, Ivara has two really, really good modifiers, and she has other ones too, which I'll showcase later, that are really good for her. Infiltrate gives her the ability to bypass laser barriers. It is an absolute godsend for spy missions, and also grants her 25% movement speed. So if you want to play, if you got Ivara, which you should be playing a lot of spy missions anyways to get her, then you should be picking up an Infiltrate from, I believe it's the Arbiters of Hexus. No, it's Cephalon Suda as soon as you can. Concentrated arrows are other one, which makes her kind of stupidly strong, and we'll showcase that maybe another time. But for now, this is kind of a basic economy build for Ivara. As you can see, kind of a little bit of everything. Her multiplier growth is pretty low, but at the same time, we have a good base duration on the bubble, good base duration on the sleep, good noise radius. Even her prowl has a pretty good range to it. 7 meters is not something to sniff at because it's a radius, as you can see. And even with just having flow on her, actually gives her quite a bit of a boost to her energy pool. Up to the same amount that her health is, actually. So it's a really good way of playing with her. And then the dread, of course, you modify it for crit. Serration. Where is it? Where is it? Point strike for that 120. Look at that. A fully charged point strike brings this weapon up to 125% crit strike. It's one of the most common drops from Stalker, and it is very, very powerful even though. So again, speed trigger for faster charge rates. Vigilant armaments for some multi-shot. Fast hands for reload speed, which you don't need. So then after that, I recommend terminal velocity for more speed. If you don't have any other mods besides, the ones that you see that you have, you don't need Hush. It's already a silent weapon. Thunderbolt's a good one if you pick it up because chance for rounds to explode is kind of funny. But beyond that, unless you have Hunter munitions, you don't really need anything else besides maybe Sawtooth Clip for the extra slash damage. We already have our enemies out there, so we'll go ahead and, as you can see, my dash wire is still there. Dash wires last for apparently ever. But as you can see, with those small modifications, this weapon has become much, much stronger. So we'll generate enemies that are about level 60. Oh. To show what exactly this frame is capable of, and also why she's capable of it. So first of all, Prowl. You can roll and tumble while using her skills, but you cannot do anything else. No jumping. Well, it's no sliding and no running. If you run, you come out of it. If you slide, you come out of it. So I'll show you like that too. See, you come out of it. So if you want to use Prowl, you have to roll. As you can see, pretty fast actually, right? Now, we'll line these bad boys up. Orange crits, as you can see, slash damage happening. Oh god, it's so disturbing. Remember, these are level 60 enemies. So it's not like these are supposed to be enemies you'll normally fight on the star map, although you might if you stay in certain missions long enough. Now, you're saying, what about her fourth ability? Is her fourth ability that useful? Yeah, her fourth ability costs a lot of energy in the end to use. But yeah, it's totally worth it. Even at level 60s cannot stand up to the ferocity that is Ivara. And of course, with her weapon being an exalted weapon, right here, the weapon pops up and you can actually upgrade it. Now, as you can see, I already have it slightly upgraded. Slightly being very much so. 100 munitions for damage, point strike for critical chance, and so on and so forth. So you modify her Artemis bow separately from everything else. And this damage gets added onto what the base damage of her skill is. So in this case, it's 312. That's a lot of damage. And it also gets 7 multi-shot, which is ridiculous. So that's basically Banshee in a not Banshee. That's Ivara in a nutshell. Now, how do you find her? What are her other mods? Well, her other mods are, I would say they're interesting, and they're more for the tactical player rather than they are the average player. So the tactical player will see Ivara running with maybe. I say maybe. I think Arbiter's Hexes again.
Will these help you?
No. So it must be Suda, where I saw her before.
I hope these interest you.
Yes. So, Empowered Quiver, Dash Wire grants allies 100% critical damage, and Cloak Arrow has a 100% chance to prevent status effects. So you can actually use her Cloak Arrow and hit an ally with it, and it will stick to them, giving them the status effect immunity and also the Cloak. And of course, Dash Wire, because then, 100% additional crit damage is pretty crazy. Piercing Navigator, which increases the projectile's critical chance by 10% up to a maximum of 50%. Infiltrate, which I've already shown you, and Concentrated Arrow, which is broken. Now, that's pretty much all of Ivara. And some of you you still haven't told us where you find her. Well, you find her in spy missions, unfortunately. Now, all spy missions, including sorties and nightmare modes, alerts and sorties do not reward the identified caches, therefore are exempt, but everything else does. It's all rotation C. So you find her chassis. Her chassis is a very specific one, but you find her chassis on Lua. You find it on Pavlov. So Pavlov Spy is where you get Ivara's chassis. You get on medium tier enemies, so that's something along the lines of maybe even Saris might be medium tier. So spy mission for Bode might give you her chassis. The hard tier, the easy tier, which are the low level ones like a Mercury and Venus, will net you. Oh, okay, I think Ishtar for sure. I think it's Ishtar for sure. So Ishtar, no, it's a sabotage regularly. Unda. So Unda would probably give you a chance of getting her her systems, which is surprising because usually systems are the harder one to get. And then hard tier spy missions like Sedna, which has the 30s, the 36s, the spy missions here, if there is one, the Kappa. That one was where you'd find her neuropic and her main blueprint. All very low chances, so getting Ivara is a struggle. She does require a lot of Niatane extract, which is not available right now. But Niatane extract, which is only an alert-only resource. So she's an intensive Warframe to farm for, but she is powerful and she is useful as heck. So if you get the opportunity to pick her up, if you pick up her pieces and they, I have all of Ivara's pieces, build her. She's worth the MR at the very least, and she's also worth a lot of power. So once again, everybody, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this episode of In a Nutshell about Ivara. If you like, please like it. If you want to give me some information about Ivara maybe I didn't know about, please leave a comment in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more of these videos or see more detailed videos about certain Warframes. And if you don't like what I say, if you're not very a big fan of this, let me know in the comments too. I like to try to help tweak and fix what I'm doing because I know I'm not doing things perfectly. So until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.